Welcome, everybody. My name is Michael, and Bitcoin is past $105,000 officially. It is new territory, new ATH. Well, let's go for 110, 115, 120, and hopefully the higher the better. With that said, we are discussing about cryptocurrency, freedom, America, the land of the free, or so they say, the American dream. Well, not for cryptocurrency in many cases, personal, corporate use. Mr. Frank Richard Ahlgren III. He filed false tax returns that underreported or did not report the sale of $4 million worth of Bitcoins in which he had capital gains. Now, capital gains, not all countries have this tax. Not all are requiring it for cryptocurrency, and even the next president of the United States of America, Donald J. Trump, has had a proposal, or has at least had the idea of removing capital gains for cryptocurrency. So this gentleman was from Austin, Texas. He was sentenced to 2 years in prison this month, just a couple days ago, for filing a false tax return. It underreported the capital gains from $3.7 million of Bitcoins that he purchased back in 2015. He purchased 1366 Bitcoins using Coinbase, and he was an early investor in Bitcoin, even going back as far as 2011. That's right. So this Bitcoin millionaire, he didn't run over somebody. He didn't do any crazy violent crime. No. He's going to federal prison for avoiding taxes on a portion of his proceeds. Let me remind you, and a lot of people are very upset about this, let me remind you that we live in a nation that this gentleman probably didn't use funds just out of nowhere that he received from illegitimate means. He probably used his hard-earned, already taxed dollars to purchase the Bitcoin on Coinbase. He paid a fee to Coinbase. That's fine. It is a private entity. It is a corporation that he used to purchase this cryptocurrency. There's fees with the exchanges. There's fees for selling. That's fine. That's not up to the government. However, he already paid his taxes. 99% sure he paid his taxes on the funds that he used to purchase cryptocurrency. Most of us have to pay our taxes. It's not even a question. It's already automatically deducted from our paychecks. And sometimes, in some states, the tax is incredibly unfair. You have tax on your income. You go to the store, you have sales tax. When you die and your next of kin are trying to receive money, there is a tax in certain situations as well. And there's taxes on when you have used your already taxed money to invest in the markets, and then you sell a profit because the government can't get enough of your money because we're trillions and trillions of dollars in debt because of a crazy military spending and all sorts of problems. The healthcare issue obviously is highlighted by the past couple of weeks here in the public response to something that happened. I'm not going to go into details, but we all know that the healthcare issue is pretty bad in America, and what happened recently was tragic from both sides. My opinion is, especially living abroad, having seen in what people are saying underdeveloped nations, having seen their healthcare system being better than ours is just a disgrace, supposedly for the best country on the planet, which in reality it's not. I love my country. I'm a proud American. However, there's certain things that are wrong with our nation. And one of those is crypto regulation and cryptocurrency taxes and taxes in general. Some people in cryptocurrency and blockchain may agree that taxation is theft. And in some regards, the percentages that were charged are absolutely egregious. However, anyways, I digress. This gentleman had purchased Bitcoins, and the highest price Bitcoins that he sold for that year was approximately $495.56. That was back in 2015. In October 2017, he sold approximately 640 Bitcoins, and each one was trading at approximately $58.0753. Not a bad deal, right? Already 2 years later, basically 10x, even more than 10x, right? That was a total of $3.7 million right there. He used the proceeds to purchase a house in Park City, Utah, and most of the Bitcoins were used for real estate. It basically came from that 2015 transaction. Now, when it came to prepare his taxes in 2017 for the federal income tax return, he lied to his accountant. He submitted a false summary of his gains and losses from the sale of Bitcoins. There was concealment. The concealment was basically Algren claimed that he bought the Bitcoins at prices much higher than he actually did. Now going through Coinbase's transactions, and Coinbase does work with the federal government and the IRS, and they will easily get rid of your data. They'll submit your data. They'll release everything. And, well, the federal government was easily able to verify that he indeed purchased Bitcoin for a much lower price than he claimed. So he filed a false income tax return. He substantially inflated the cost basis of the Bitcoins. He underreported his true capital gains. In 2018 and 2019, he sold more Bitcoins. He sold Bitcoins for more than $650,000, and he did not report these sales at all on the 2018 and 2019 tax returns. He did do a couple things to try and conceal the transactions. He moved the Bitcoins through multiple wallets. He met an individual in person, probably local Bitcoins at the time, to exchange Bitcoins for cash. He used tumblers, mixers. And in May 2014, Algren had actually blogged online about his knowledge of mixers and tumblers to add anonymity. And they found that, and that's not great. It doesn't help his case. In total, the tax loss from Algren's criminal conduct was over $1 million. And due to that sum, that's why he went to prison. If it was a lower sum, under like $100,000, and if he had a great lawyer, there's ways to argue it, but it gets tougher when you're talking about $1 million or more. And the acting deputy assistant attorney general, Stuart M. Goldberg of the Department of Justice's tax division, has been quoted as saying, Frank Algren III earned millions buying and selling Bitcoins, but instead of paying the taxes he knew were due, he lied to his accountant about the extent of a large portion of his gains and sought to conceal another chunk of his profits through sophisticated techniques designed to obscure his transactions on the Bitcoin blockchain. By sophisticated, I mean it's rather easy, but that conduct today earned him a 2-year sentence. Yes, high and mighty. Well, I think it's unfair. I think, yeah, he probably shouldn't have lied out his tax return. But in reality, when we go all the way back, taxes are a human construct from some random dude deciding one day, hey, let's build a country. Let's build this great, big, beautiful nation of ours, and let's tax everybody. But the tax rates proposed back then were a lot lower than they are right now. And it's just egregious that capital gains, this random tax. Do you remember the Boston Tea Party? All these crazy taxes that were proposed by the British government. Well, the Americans didn't take too well to that. And now Americans, well, we just kind of have given up, to be quite honest, because there's nothing much we can do. The acting special agent in charge, Lucy Tan of the IRS's Criminal Investigation Houston Field Office, has been quoted as saying, Algren will serve time because he believed his cryptocurrency transactions were untraceable. This case demonstrates that no one is above the law. My team at the IRS Criminal Investigation has the expertise and tools to track the financial activity, whether it involves dollars, pesos, or cryptocurrency. This case marks the first criminal tax evasion prosecution centered solely on cryptocurrency. As the prices for cryptocurrency are high, so is the temptation to not pay taxes on its sale. Avoid the temptation and avoid federal prison. Now, after time served and good behavior, he's probably not going to spend the 2 years there. He's going to spend just a little over a year or something, half of it probably. But in addition to that, the U.S. District Court Judge Robert Pittman for the Western District of Texas has ordered Algren to serve 1 year of supervised release, and he's ordered to pay $1,095,031 in restitution to the United States. What are your thoughts on this? Please let me know. I understand that taxes are important, but then again, in cases like recently where I am paying my taxes, I'm an upstanding Class A citizen, that most of the taxes are automatically withdrawn. There's nothing I can do about that. And then I have a little bit, from 1099 and stuff, and I have higher taxes due to that, and I have to report that, and there's not much I can do. Either way, I'm screwed. Basically, as a W-2 employee, and then since my employer also, same employer, there's part of that we sell accessories, and it's technically a third party, and is 1099, and it's not fun because you have to pay more taxes for that. And technically, yeah, you could deduct if you were a real 1099 where you actually bought stuff, but in our case, I mean, you may be able to deduct for your phone bill because you use that at work, but that's about it. So you have these cases where people have these large sums of money, and if I were them, I would flee. I would not be in America. Before it's even a crime, because he had years and years to be able to, probably sell real estate, especially with all the gains right now. But he probably forgot about it and wasn't aware. And, the IRS certainly doesn't forget. They have a long memory. But it is rather strange that we pay our taxes and, then I lose more money from potholes destroying my car. And then when you try and file a claim with your local county and township, and they're saying, oh, it's not our fault. Yeah, well, where's my tax money heading? Is it really actually helping the schools and the roads and all my public services? Well, in Chicago, it feels like your money certainly is not being fully utilized. And especially when you see cases of corruption in the news, that's when you realize there is probably a good percentage of the taxes that were just, or the fact that Social Security may not exist by decades before I'm eligible for it. So that kind of worries me as well, where, we're paying for Medicare and Social Security and some other taxes. What's going to happen when I'm old? Will the baby boomers be the only generation to really be able to make full good use of it? I don't know. It's a very complex process. This guy did commit a crime ultimately, yes. And some people may argue, depending on which nation and how he was able to. There's ways he could have improved back then his situation and avoided jail. And he would have had to pay taxes, but there's different methods he could have done. And unfortunately, he got caught, and he decided to choose the not so great method. But what are your thoughts?